Hello everyone, Caplo here, and today I'm going over the impact of EVERFEST cards for the Mechanologist class, specifically for Dash and Dash mid-range. I'm not too familiar with Dash aggro even though I played it, but I will give my insight in that as well. In the end of the video I will show you my current deck list, but take it with a grain of salt because I'm still testing and switching cards around. Furthermore, I'll cover two cards that are really problematic for Dash and how Dash can adapt to beat those cards. The first card I want to talk about is the Dissolution Sphere. This card enters the arena with one steam counter, and then you remove a counter, and if you cannot remove a counter you destroy it. And this card has been really powerful in my testing, because if you build dealt exactly 1 damage, you prevent it. This is really good against Runechants or Kodachis for example, but what makes it even stronger I feel like is breaking the breakpoints. Because right now you can block on a 4 attack with just a Mechanologist card, so you block for 3 but the 1 damage you don't take it, or you can sink below an attack for 5, or you can use the equipment, for example Core, to block an attack for 3 and you don't take any damage. And I think this card is a must include, at least in the sideboard for most of the aggressive matchups and also against Viserai. Then the other Majestic that is quite good in Dash is the Signal Jammer. This had a similar ability with the steam counters as the one we saw with the shield, but this prevents to play more than 1 non-attack action every turn. This can be really good against Wizard for example, and also slows down some decks such as the Runeblade that I want to play multiple non-attack action per turn. I would consider putting at least 1 or 2 in your sideboard, because I feel like in some matchups this card is gonna be key. If you're familiar with Magic the Gathering, Dissipation Shield and Signal Jammer are almost time walk against some decks. The third best card is T-Bone. This is similar to the Mechanetic Shockwave, but it's easier to set up because it only counts itself, so you can easily pick off one of their equipments if they have equipments you can pick off. I would play a couple of copies of T-Bone in either Dash aggro, mid-range, and possibly control. A 0 resource that almost every time picks off an equipment is really good. Then for other cards that we haven't set as Mechanologist, I am not too impressed, but they're playable in some decks. For example, Rotary Ram, it's a non-attack action that blocks for 3, so it's pretty good if you have a lot of bolting in your metagame. And Zoom In is a nice card to add in your deck when you want to close the game. I would not see myself playing any payload unless you're playing Dash aggro. Another card designed for Dash aggro is Teklo Plunder, that when you boost the first time each turn, your attack gets +2. I feel like this probably is not even that good in Dash aggro, but I have not tested it yet. The last Mechanologist card that we have in EVERFEST is the Data Doll Specialization, and it's called the Microprocessor. This is really strong because you can activate 2 abilities each turn, so you can opt 1, you can draw a card and then put a card on top, and then you can banish the card on top of your deck, and if you set up with Data Doll, you can put a Mechanologist item on top, then you activate the third ability, and you put it into play. Also, it's quite easy to activate all 3 modes in 1 turn, just by using your Achilles Accelerator, or if you're playing High Octane. For sure I will try to build a Data Doll deck and have some fun, so if you want to see the Data Doll deck, please let me know in the comments. Let's quickly jump into the generics that you could play in Dash. I think Bingo and Fire Breathing could be an okay substitution for Command & Conquer, just because it forces your opponent to block sometimes, so this can change the tempo of the game, but I feel like Command & Conquer is still better than those 2 cards. One other good thing about these 2 cards is that they block for 3, but they are generic, so if you boost and miss you will lose your action point. Now let's talk about the bad cards for us. Smashing Good Time can be problematic just because it can pick off some of your items. For this reason right now I'm testing Remembrance in my deck, but I could see myself testing Cavernous Contraband in the future and see if it's better than Remembrance. But the card that worries me the most is Nerves of Steel. This Guardian card is really powerful and it's gonna be hard to get through. So for this reason, I feel like I want to play 6 Plasma Purifier between main deck and sideboard, probably 1 in the main deck and 2 in the sideboard. I hope this short video about the impact of EVERFEST on the Mechanologist class helped you. And now, the moment you maybe were waiting for, my current Dash deck list. This is my current list that I'm testing with the Dash midrange. As equipment, I went away from the blocking Ironhide Gauntlet. Instead, I'm playing back the Goliath Gauntlet. I feel like the metagame is a bit more mid-rangey, so Goliath Gauntlet is really helpful. Equipment is pretty standard, as I said. For the main deck, we always have the 9 0-60 and 9 zipper hits. As far as items, I feel like right now we want the 2 induction chambers and a plasma purifier, and start with induction chamber always. Then to find our items, we have the Spark of Genius. We have Command and Conquer. I think this card is really good against all of the decks, probably besides the Mirror and besides against Hold'em. But I would probably keep Command and Conquer against Hold'em, maybe not the Mirror. Then here on the bottom we have all of our blues. And another blue that I added was like Eye of Ophidia. I'm testing with it, I've been liking it so far. I don't know if it's gonna make the final cut, but this is what I liked. Then for sideboard, this is like a big sideboard, because we only have 51 cards in the main deck, counting the 4 equipments and the piston. So it's actually a 46 card main deck and a lot of sideboard options. Just quickly go over the sideboard. For equipment, we have Visitronic model that is only for Wizard. I feel like Wizard can become more popular, so just be prepared with the Visitronic model. And I find myself adding Neuron Gloves is actually quite useful, because I feel like Viscera is going to be one of the key players in the metagame, and you need Arcane Barrier 2 to block Rosetta Turn, and some Vaccine Malice for example, so you have Neuron and Achilles Accelerator as Arcane Barrier. Then as I said, the best card in EVERFEST for Dash is Dissolution Sphere. This is sideboard that comes in often. Then like the rest is quite pretty standard. We have Fate Foreseens and Sink Belows, Sigil of Solace as defense. I added extra movables because Guardian is gonna be a key player as well, so adding 2 extra defense reaction to block the Guardian is quite good. Then Throttle is against Prism matchup, or if you want to go aggro. So far I have 1 Signal Jammer in the sideboard, but I think I'm going up to 2. The Remembrance for the Smashing Good Time, and also for buying back the Dissolution Sphere. This card, as I said, is a time walk against several matchups, so being able to buy back the Dissolution Sphere after they go away is quite good. Maximum Velocity is just in there for Prism. Prism is gonna be really powerful with the new EVERFEST cards. Here High Octane if you want to go aggressive, or for Bolting to block. And I think that's about it for my sideboard. I will be tuning and testing this deck, and then after I get all of the cards that I need, I will be doing a deck tech with the paper cards, so be tuned for that. So if you want to see it, leave the like, subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks everybody for watching, I will see you next time.